So as usual, let's first start off with the deck. The deck is a handmade 3K forged carbon fiber deck. The length of the deck is 29 inches and the width of the deck is 10.5 inches. The max load is 330 pounds or 150 kg. They also made the deck lighter, more durable, and it's utilizing automotive grade badging. Now the concave and the grip tape together keeps you extremely locked in and so much comfort. I'm pretty sure this is the thickest and most comfortable grip tape on any board I've ever ridden on. So whether you're trying to carve hard or you're off-roading and you want your feet to be super planted and never come off the board while you're off-roading, this truly does the job. Now if you look closely on my left foot coming up, you see I'm trying to stick out my leg and the actual grip tape holds down my foot and I can't get it in this position that I'm doing this little smooth trick for. This trick is normally pretty dang easy for me and the grip tape just wouldn't allow my foot to break loose. Lastly, I actually really like the design pattern that they went with here. It's kind of premium looking, but doesn't look all kinds of wacky. Next, I want to talk about the Urban independent suspension along with the wheels. I would be the first one to admit, these boards are not really my type of style, but holy cow, this really changed my mind about off-roading boards and boards with suspension and 8-inch knobby tires. Now, I'm not even going to try to explain how the suspension and the 8-inch tires take on the light trails, the grass, the severe off-road trails, and terrible roads. Let the footage do the talking. Check it out. Now, unless you plan on rock climbing like the mountain bike riders do, this board will basically handle any road or any trail that's in your neighborhood unless it has big giant rocks. Now, if you wanted to adjust your Endeavor to make it easier to carve or make it tighter for more stability, this is what you do. So these two tools that came with the board is mainly what you're gonna need. You're gonna utilize a 13mm wrench and break loosen this bolt a little bit. Once you get it a little bit loose, you use that other Allen key and you stick it on the top of it. You will have the clearance to get it done. Then with the wrench at the same time, hold it in place and you will loosen up the thread a little bit with the Allen key. Now, every little turn with that Allen key will dramatically affect your turning radius and carve, so don't do it a lot. Then secure it in place by tightening it up with a 13mm wrench while the Allen key is still stuck in there. Then there's one more to do on the other side, so repeat the same steps. Then you also have 2 more in the rear as well, and repeat the same steps. Now, like I said, if you loosen the threads just a little bit, you're gonna feel a dramatic difference. I'm utilizing medium gray bushings all around, and I love it. If I wanna feel this kind of nimble feeling, I just loosen up the threads about 2 or 3 turns, and it dramatically gives me this crazy agility feeling underneath my feet. Especially for a big off-roading board like this, it's a pretty cool feeling. Because I remember when the Endeavor first came out, I never owned one, but I remember a lot of people complaining that they couldn't carve and or they would complain about the turning radius. Now for me, with all my boards, including this one, I don't keep it loose like this. I usually keep it on the medium side, meaning there's a few threads showing, yet it's not too tight, it's not too loose. So here's an example of the turning radius when I tighten them back up. Not too loose, not too tight, just right for me. I like having a little bit of resistance when I carve. So it's crystal clear this board can take on all the trails, but can it finally carve great out of the box? Let's check it out. As for the ESC, the Endeavor 3 is utilizing a customizable FOC 3.0 150 amps phase current ESC. No complaints from me here. Nice and smooth yet powerful, great throttle curve, no jerkiness, and very reliable. It also has the auto kickstart feature. So hold down the power button, turn on the remote, kick the board forward, and you'll see that the board actually powers on. Now for the remote and the lights. The remote itself is the same updated remote that comes with the Ruckus. So if you hold down the top button, you will turn on the ambient lighting system. Clearly this is an integrated system, unlike an LED strip that a lot of other brands use. You also get an additional 4 red and 4 green lights in case you want to switch it out from blue. Now if you hold down the top button on the remote, that'll turn on your blinking taillight. If you engage the brakes, it'll illuminate the taillight to a solid yet brighter light so everybody behind you knows that you are braking. Now for the new colored screen remote. Now just like most remotes, you have 4 speed modes: gear 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you want gear 3, you triple click the button to get into gear 3. If you want gear 1, you just click the button once. It also has 4 different brake modes. So yank on the brakes while you're holding down the brakes, click the top button, and you'll see the brake modes change. Now if you want to go in reverse, come to a complete stop and double click the power button. Now if you want to engage the parking mode so the board won't move, engage the brakes and click the power button. Then you will notice you cannot throttle the board unless you actually engage the brakes, and then it takes off the parking feature. To adjust your parameter settings, hold down the power button and the select button at the same time while the board is off. This will give you the option to change tons of different stuff, like how much power you want to put out in each mode. If you want to change different wheel setups, different pulleys, you can change your different gear mode lights, or you can simply just set it back to stock configuration with the click of a button. As for the motors, the Endeavor 3 is utilizing 2 6.3 7.4 gear drive motors. Now you do have the option to get a belt drive Endeavor 3, but in my personal opinion, I think a gear drive for a true off-roading vehicle like this is a must. I also think this is the first time the Endeavor series ever had a gear drive, and Propel really knocked it out of the park with this. Okay guys, here we go. Giant hill test, same hill we always use. Endeavor 3 GT, highest gear mode, full battery. Let's see how she does. Nice. No issues getting up that hill, that's for sure. 25.6 miles per hour up the giant hill. Stock gear setup on the Endeavor 3 GT. Okay guys, here we go. Top speed test on the Endeavor 3. Gear drive, full battery, gear 4. Let's see how she does. Now this board definitely isn't a top speed board. This is an off-roading board. The next time you're in the woods, the trails, see how fast you're going. You're never really going over 25 miles per hour, so keep that in mind. Even 25 miles per hour is really fast in the woods. Let's check the top speed. 28 miles per hour on the nose. That's up a slight hill as well. Okay guys, acceleration test, mode 4, almost full battery. On go. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh man. Okay, let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. Very, very good. Okay, let's do a brake test at 15 miles per hour. You have 4 brake modes, so they are adjustable. 1, 2, 3, brake. Oof. Perfect. Smooth, aggressive, not too aggressive. Very good. As for the battery, the ENDEAVOR3 GT is utilizing a 12S 5P 1100 watt hours Samsung 50S cells. As for the range, I'm a 160 pound rider. The temperature was about 83 degrees Fahrenheit. I probably did about 70% riding on the road, lots of carving, which obviously kills a little bit of range, and I did about 30% off-roading. Off-roading really does kill your range a lot, so keep that in mind. I also ridden a mix of pro mode and high mode. I got a total of 31.2 miles of range with the ENDEAVOR3 GT. Okay, so a few things worth mentioning. Now, this is a true off-roading board, which means it's not going to be small, it's not going to be light. It's definitely not for commuting, I'll tell you that. Not only is it just simply heavy, but the abnormal weight distribution of this board makes it very hard to carry. Now, since it's a gear drive, it's not terribly hard to actually roll it from the front or the rear truck, so I suggest that. But when you are rolling it, the tires are so big, they actually run into your butt when you're walking. Also, the assembly to grabbing it from the truck just doesn't feel good on the hands. It's pretty uncomfortable. Now, something that I do like that's worth mentioning is these built-in finger wells. Anytime I get low to take a hard turn, doing donuts, or on the racetrack, it makes it much easier to control the board. Now, a small flaw that's worth mentioning is definitely the remote speed is off. I know you can't see it here, but the remote says 25 miles per hour and the GPS is reading around 22 miles per hour. So that's probably why the website says top speed 31 miles per hour. Okay, you got a red blinking light. Let's do a quick acceleration test. 1, 2, 3, go. Nice. Still there. Power is still good. Is it as good as it was with a full battery? Of course not. But it's still very, very good. And as you can see, the battery is almost dead. Blinking bars. It's over 20 miles per hour. 21. Now here's something that I don't like. Full throttling the board when it has somewhat of a low battery, it goes to red with only 1 bar left. Then I let off the throttle and I just cruise and 2 green bars come back. I'd much rather have a numeric real-time readout rather than a live meter with battery bars that come and go. Having this kind of measurement while riding, you don't really know where you stand. Is it 15% and I only have 4 miles to ride? Is it 3% and I barely have a mile to ride? Or do I have 24% and I can still ride for another 9 miles? Now, as you can probably guess, Propel did a great job boxing up this board. Plenty of padding and very well put together. It comes with your 5-amp charger, your owner's manual, your remote, extra lights, tools, and your USB-C charging cable for your remote. Now, I believe the board comes with the 85 grays in the front and the rear, and that's what I currently have right now. Now, I think the gray bushings will actually work for everybody because when they're not too tight and they're not too loose, they're that perfect medium in my opinion. But if you just loosen it up a couple turns, you're gonna have a dramatic difference in carving. But if you want it more stiff and sturdy, just tighten it up a little bit and it'll have a dramatic difference with increasing your stability. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's a good thing knowing how convenient and easy it is. Just by a simple turn of a tool, you can dramatically affect the way the actual board behaves instead of swapping out bushings. Final thoughts. Now, ever since I borrowed my buddy's Propel Pivot GT, I really grown to like Propel a lot. The Endeavor series was never really my cup of tea, but when I tested it at EskateCon, I actually really liked it. But now that I have it all to myself, in my home and on my local trails, it brought out an entire different rider in me. I'm catching myself trying all these different new types of off-roading adventures that really are exciting, challenging, new, and just straight up fun. So everything you see this board accomplish in this video, with all these crazy trails, great carving, super comfortable suspension, and it's all from a company that is very reputable in the e-skate community with great customer service to back it all up, and most of all, pricing. Propel always has awesome prices that could definitely be more expensive. Just look at the Onsra Velar gear drive as an example. Almost $3,000, little bit of a smaller battery, super stiff deck with a giant hump in the middle, standard channel trucks without any suspension, and no lights. Meanwhile, this new ENDEAVOR 3 GT gear drive is under $2,400 with our discount code. So in my opinion, if you want a gear drive off-roading board that also carves awesome with great customer service, then the Propel ENDEAVOR 3 GT is definitely for you. Also, quick reminder guys, at the end of the month, we will do a giveaway. Could be lights, could be wheels, could be a hat, could be stickers, or it could even be a board. All you have to do to enter is comment below, and of course subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching guys. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. Have a good one guys.